right, welcome back, guys. It's November of 2025 this time, and we're building another PC, and it is not mine. So we've hired somebody at our company, and they're going to be doing all of our AutoCAD and plans and 3D work and everything like that. So we wanted to build them a PC. Typically, Typically, we run Apple products, but I think that he's gonna have a better time currently right now in the Windows space. So we ended up building him a Windows PC. He had sent me an email with parts, and they were all good parts, but just in general, I was thinking that I can give him an upgrade and come in either around the same price or under, and we came in around under $3,000. So here's what we built. We're gonna start with the case, everything that's gonna house all of the components. So I went with the Lee V100R. This case is sick. It was $79, and this case is gorgeous. Currently, I'm using the H5 Flow, and I actually may switch to this case. This thing is just so pretty, and I think Lee killed it. It is a little plasticky, but a lot of these cases are. I was messing with some of the crazier $400, $500 Asus cases, and they had a lot of plastic to them still. So I was very impressed with this. It's a very glassy case, which is a little hard for me as I have a 1.5-year-old and soon another baby coming in. They're going to want to put their hands all over things. So right now we'll stick with the H5 Flow, but I was very impressed with everything in this case. As you guys saw, that build came out really pretty. It had decent cable management on the back, and this one actually has a hard drive, a hard drive space on the bottom, which the H5 doesn't because it has that little tunnel fan. I'll get back into why I have a actual hard drive in there, but let's go over the board, processor, and the RAM. So we went with an Asus TUF. This is the B650E Wi-Fi. The E, I do believe, stands for Wi-Fi 6E. So this is Wi-Fi 6E. That's cool. He's going to be hardline more than likely. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I did want to give him a board that had higher end Wi-Fi capabilities and Bluetooth capabilities as well, just in case for any reason he has to use those. We're not just caught DOA. To pair with that, we ended up going with the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. So we were torn, myself and the guys at Micro Center, with going with a 9950X or a 9900X or a 9800X3D versus 9800X, just kind of deciding. I wanted him to be able to game on this if he really wanted to. Let's just call it a perk of the company. I don't know. It'd be a shame to have this powerful of a PC and not be able to run some games on it. But that's like the big thing. The 9800X3D versus like the 9900X. Yes, that is a Ryzen 9. That is a 12 core. But in terms of overall performance, the 99 was only a little better. And when I say that, I mean all around. Balance wise, the 98 just hit it really well. The 99 did really well, but we noticed a 11 FPS difference with the GPU we were pairing with, and it just didn't seem worth to spend that much more on doing that versus just going with something that was balancing super well. So we went with that, and then to pair RAM wise, we went with Corsair Dominator DDR5. That was basically, at this point, I'm not really gonna go with anything cheaper than that, especially if we're looking at builds in the way that we're looking at them for this PC. I'm not going to say money was not an object. It was definitely something that I kept in my mind, especially while building this, but I know what mark we were trying to hit in myself and in the tech at Micro Center that was helping me pick out components, and just they did a phenomenal job, and that was my first time at Micro Center. It was just a phenomenal experience, and they did a great job. We also just felt like that's a decent balance. 32 gigs. We're not going to go 64 right off the rip. If he needs more RAM resources, then we will go 64. But he should be able to run CAD and like any type of like 3D works at the same time and still have plenty of resources. He should be fine. I don't think we're going to be bottlenecking anywhere on this build. Let's go with the cooler first, actually. So the thing that's cooling the CPU is going to be an Arctic's Liquid Freeze 3. This is the Pro, this is the 360 mil, and this is the one with the ARGB. So I'm actually impressed with how well this cooler is cooling. I love Arctic. I've used Arctic for years. I actually used to only use Arctic thermal paste as well. I love Arctic. They're great, and I'm so glad to see that they are pricing their coolers in such a way. This is 150, but this was up there with the top end Krakens and the top end Thermalright, not Thermaltake, Thermalright. I'm old. I can't remember which brand. Anyway, it performs really well. Currently on my build, I'm still running the 5900X. That's the 12 core, and it natively sits pretty hot. It sits around 37 degrees Celsius. This is sitting lower than that, and on top of that, this is only using a single fan. This is using a 360 mil. And that's going to be one of the biggest things I upgrade for this build is the cooler and the case. So I'm looking at, I took the opportunity to build and use the two things that I'd be the most interested in, and I'm really liking those two options. Let's talk about GPU. Went with the RX 580. So that should be more than plenty. I know there was a lot of conversation on should I go with the 580, the 5070 Ti, or just go up to a 5090, just go crazy. And I just didn't feel like, I don't feel like there's much reason to really go with a 5090 in general. Most of these programs aren't using heavy GPU. They are using VRAM if they are using GPU, but I think 16 gigs is going to be enough. And through my extensive research on this in terms of the programs he's using, I mean, there's people that are still rocking 3080s and smaller cards that are doing just fine. So the speed and the overall 16 gigs that he's going to get on the 5080 is going to be more than plenty. He's going to be able to game at 4K. He's going to be able to play just about, well, with this build, he'll be able to play anything on the market. There won't be anything he won't be able to play. And he'll be able to run Minecraft pretty beastly as well. So Cam, I don't know if you play Minecraft, but if you do, this is the build for it. It's going to be pretty solid. And then the thing powering everything, in my opinion, was my favorite deal, is going to be a Super Flower. This is a 80 plus gold 1000 watt PSU. So fully modular. It's perfect. The one thing I was looking for while looking at cases was like, I want a PSU shroud. I think they look really nice. I don't mind the cases that put the PSUs in the back, but then I have to go SFX, and I don't love going with smaller power supplies that are pushing out a lot of power. I just don't. It just feels weird to me. I know that you can do the Pro Art build, but even that Pro Art build still, I believe, accommodates for full size power supplies. Like I'm not a huge fan. So I wanted to make sure we stayed somewhere in that mid ATX range and just make sure everything was comfortable in this build. So I think it came out looking really pretty. We still need to talk about the storage. So we have 2 drives in this computer. The first one that's housing everything is a 9100 Pro Samsung M.2 Gen 5 NVMe drive. This is at 4 terabytes. This thing is, I think we picked the fastest that we can get. There may be one more that's faster than that, but so sorry. I don't know if you guys saw my gimbal started freaking out for a second. All right, back to it. That's the fastest drive that I believe that we were able to grab. If there's one faster, it won't really make a difference being at Gen 5. The last thing that we got for him was actually a 2 terabyte Barracuda hard drive. This is going to live at the bottom of the case. This is just purely for redundancy. We also have things saved on cloud, but I also want him to have backups of everything and have the space to. So I had to re-record this because my camera only wanted to record 10 minutes because the stupid setting was turned on. So anyway, where I left off was I ended up getting him a 2 terabyte Barracuda drive, regular hard drive that's going to sit at the bottom of this case. This is there for redundancy. This is there to just make sure that anything that is saved or is done is saved on the cloud, on the drive, on that device as well, just to make sure that everything is findable. But that's like the most important portion of this, is just making sure that everything is findable. I don't, we've used Google Drive for years, but I don't trust Google Drive. I've had things disappear out of there or just not save there at all and create problems. So having that 2 terabyte Barracuda drive should give us some reliability. If anything happens to that drive, it's going to be far easier to recover and make sure we can get that data back. So that's really big. But honestly, that's really about it. That's the whole build that came together. It looked really pretty. I really enjoy how this came out. I'm going to leave the plastic peel on there for him. That's always something very satisfying. So a lot of the shots that you're going to see from the side doesn't have the glass panel on, which is completely fine. So yeah. Look, it was a really cool experience getting to go to Micro Center. I really enjoyed my time out there. I was at the different location, and I just enjoyed it. I've got a lot of experience building PCs. I've been doing it since I was, 14? And I'm almost 30 now, so that's ridiculous. Regardless, I've got a lot of experience doing it, and it was really fun to work with other experienced PC builders and just not even really rack our heads, but just go, yeah, like, let's weigh the differences. Like, that's like, let's get into the weeds of what we built. And we were all pretty happy with, like, this should be a pretty beastly build. Gaming, he's going to be able to play anything that's out there currently. And then working on any of our projects should render out and come out super quick, super easy, and be snappy for him, especially with all these components. Yeah, I'm going to leave all the items in the description with their links to Micro Center. So if you guys are looking for anything that we talked about here, or maybe even an upgrade or a different bundle, that'll take you straight back to Micro Center to find it. If you haven't shopped with them, I would recommend it. I've shopped with them before on their website and order things, but I just honestly nowadays PC part picker and Newegg, I just don't see anything awesome on there ever, and I see some pretty great consistency from Micro Center. So shout out to those guys. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for being a part of the community. I've been wanting to post more PC stuff. I'm going to do another video on my PC when I get the chance. I just haven't gotten to do it yet. And we're also going to upload more Minecraft videos. I think I just started getting into the weeds of like the stuff I like to do and that Minecraft Let's Play. And so I'm going to continue to do some more. I think, unfortunately, I had some hard drives issues and I might have lost all that progression as I'm thinking about it. So I'll find out what we can do. Might have killed the series there with all the content that I had, but Daniel and I will be able to start some more new stuff coming up here soon. But anyway, more content coming. I appreciate all of you guys. Stupid YouTube mumbo jumbo, like, comment, subscribe. If you do all those things, it helps the retention of the video, helps the engagement, and then YouTube decides that that's good enough to share the video out there to you. Because if you don't do that, then it just sits there. But whatever, I just enjoy making them for you guys. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later, guys.